My topic today is about sustainable after-school programs. I would like to start by giving a special thanks to Dr. Linda Oliver under the Education Department. She's one of my project advisors, and Dr. Kathy Bryan from the American Studies Department. They've been of tremendous support to me throughout my time here at UMBC, and when they took on the project with me, I was really glad about it. And I'm also grateful to my INDS advisor, Mr. Stephen McAlpin. He's been there from the beginning to when I switched my project around from, actually like twice, but I thank him for that. Yes, it's about the same, it's about after-school programs, but I kind of shifted direction towards like sustainable programs instead of what I was originally going to do. And also my parents from supporting me during my undergraduate career here at UMBC. Okay. So, how many of you have been or participated in an after-school program while growing up, or have children in an after-school program right now? That's pretty much majority of everyone. Well, surveys suggest about 8.4 million youth are actually participating in after-school programs to some degree, which is a very large number. After-school programs are actually becoming one of the largest supplementary resources that the U.S. Education Department is offering to enrich youth today. And the number is not really too accurate. They don't have an accurate number, like this is largest, but it's really big number. I know they fund at least $1 billion to after-school programs each and every year. And so it's a really big number. And so I thought it was a very, it's a topic that I should explore even more. What's more interesting about after-school programs is though it's being funded so much, the problem is that there aren't really lasting over a long period of time. Though we start programs this year, in a year or two from now, that program is no longer still in that same community, or it's no longer being funded, or students aren't no longer attending anymore, and so the programs actually end up shutting down, even though we're funding so much money to fund these programs. So they're large, but then that's like one of the problems that I saw, and so I wanted to explore like sustainable after-school programs for my project. So how I did my project, I broke it into 3 parts. First, I started off with my internship experiences that I've done in after-school programs. So I just chose only one program for just today's presentation, and findings. And the findings that I found as I was actually participating in that program, current research about it, and the strategy for sustainability that I've come up with that could help sustain programs, and some recommendations. And this is just a picture of the program that I actually volunteered in. It's College Gardens Youth Program. It's here in Baltimore City. And this is just a playground, and that's the basketball court, and on the side is the program. I didn't get a chance to get more pictures of it. But yeah, so what I did, the central question that helped me to explore my my topic, I started off with what are the indicators of a quality after-school program. To explore sustainability, you have to, well, to sustain a program, it has to be quality. You can't just sustain any program. No one's going to want to fund or actually attend a program that's not of quality. And the methods that I went about doing this project was a lit review. Participant observation was myself going into the program and just gathering my own findings about the program, and interviews with like the site director and the different people working within that program. The perspectives I used was educational psychology, sociology, and business. I know education psychology helps me to look at the ability of learning in the after-school setting, and the child development within the after-school setting. Sociology helped me to look at the demographics, the different groups of students that were coming to the program, and also business helped me to look at the quality of the program, the administrative side, and the programs offered, and the programs offered. Okay, so my internship with College Gardens Youth. College Gardens Youth Program is a program that's been here in Baltimore for about 10 years. It's the longest program that I've seen or even know of that's been standing that long. It has about maybe 30 to 40 youths coming in daily, and that's from pre-K to 8th grade. Yeah, pre-K to 8th grade, and the program is broken down into parts. the first part is for pre-K to 6th grade youth, and from 7th grade to about 9th grade youth, which is in the afternoon and the evenings. It's broken into 2 parts. It's based in a community that's more, I guess you could consider it more at risk. There's a lot of rates of like pregnancy, violence, crime in that particular area. And so when I spoke to the program director, he mentioned that, that's why it was actually funded there. That's why it's actually situated there, so that it could like help the local residents with their children. So instead of them coming home to nothing, they have a program to attend. And this is just some photos of the program, and this is just a student, and this is a map within the program that they actually did themselves of like the country and different places that they would actually like to visit. I know it's kind of small, but there's like actual like pictures of each student and what states they want to go to and what they want to be in life. Some students would like to be doctors, some students would like to be lawyers. Some of my findings, what I found about sustaining programs through my conversation and through my own observation is that, to sustain programs, you kind of need to be, it's good to have educated workers or volunteers that can help to improve the quality of the program. I know this program is more academic. It's not only academic, but it has academic components. It has active music component, and it also has like character, leadership components to the program. And so I know when we're helping students with their homework, it's quite hard to help them if you don't know the material yourself, if you haven't gone through those paths of learning yourself. So it helps to improve the quality of the program, make sure that students are like really learning themselves. Being flexible and to meet the needs of the organization. Sometimes needs change, and so you really want to, it's good to meet those needs. The needs could be sometimes the activities for today aren't working, thinking off the top of your head. Also, as youth grow older, it's much more difficult to retain them as active participant in the programs, which I found was interesting. Some youth feel like the activities are not appropriate like for their age, even though to us leaders it seems like it's appropriate, but for them it doesn't seem as appropriate as it doesn't feel appropriate to them, so they stop coming, and that's where that self-autonomy increases. So as you get older, youth have a choice whether they would like to attend or not. These youth, the youth that I saw choose, they tend to come less. They choose their choice. Oh wow. They come less often, or sometimes not at all. Why do they burn out after 2 to 3 years? Depending on the programs offered, some students aren't interested in academics, which is what I've come to find out in general. Some students aren't interested in the different programs offered, like music. They're not interested in sports. They're not interested in arts and craft. It might just be, I don't know, leadership skills more, writing, or going out, seeing other businesses, depending on like what they want to do. I know they did something where they had managers come into the organization and to teach these students about interviewing, helping them with like their helping them develop in life, helping them to learn more about like jobs and like future careers. And that's what I saw interest some of the students mostly. The quality and effectiveness of the programs. Quality is just what we want youth to experience basically out of school day, just to meet the challenges that they may face as they grow, as they transition from childhood to adulthood. And that's just like the program having like, so the set of some qualities that I found that was reoccurring in research was having educated program directors, lower staff turnover, smaller group sizes, opportunities for cognitive growth, opportunities for self-autonomy, kind of taking up leadership opportunities, so creating like activities like theater or play, and just choosing people to have different parts to to like lead or putting youths in groups to like to lead as well. Administration, why they burn out is you don't have a lot of staff. There was low staff to child development, low child to staff ratios in the after school program. I know, like for myself and a few others that were working with me and volunteering even throughout the semester, there were more students than we could possibly handle. It was quite hard at times trying to help maybe 2 students with their homeworks and 3 other students, try to manage the other homeworks in different, sometimes it's either reading or mathematics, or it could just be like if they weren't doing homework, making sure that they were actually doing something more creative, or like helping them with like reading or vocabulary. Sometimes we would have like little sheets for them to do handouts and activities. And so I found that as something very challenging with administration and funding. Funding could be a source of problem for like sustainability. Yeah, so funding could be a source of funding is a source why programs do burn out. They lack funding, they don't have this, grant sources, well, I learned that grant sources, sometimes they only last from 2 to 3 years, or sometimes 1 to 2 years, and so you have to consistently be finding new sources of grants, new sources of funding, and sometimes that one source that you had, you won't be able to use that same source again, and so you have to find a source that matches what you had before, and if you don't, that's why programs tend to burn out, because they can't support the youth that come, they can't support the materials that they need to support the activities that they offer these youth each day. My strategy, what I used was reasoning through analogies by Miller and Boxman-Siller to go about doing my project. And so I came up with treating nonprofits as a business. So taking management practices and applying them to quality after-school programs, which would increase the capacity for sustainable programs. Businesses, I know it may seem like an after-school program shouldn't be treated like a business, but I felt that some practices like quality control, where you look at the quality of your work, your workers, your goals, your vision. If you don't have a clear vision, how can you really implement goals that are going to help the participants of the program?
Matthania, I do apologize, but you're on 12 minutes right there. So.
Yeah, that was on my last slide. Okay.
Okay, I'll give you one sentence if you want, literally one sentence.
And this was just my recommendations, what I was going to recommend at the end, about if you wanted to at least increase the sustainability of your program, was just quality staff, just your evaluation, doing evaluation assessments, and limiting the amount of programs you offer, so that you can decrease the meaning.
We can leave that right there.
Yeah.
But thank you very much.
Any questions?
The traditional role, right. So then, what is the primary purpose of an after-school program?
To enrich youths to transition well into their adolescence, into adulthood. I know some programs are focused more on, some programs, depends on the age group too of the program as well. I know most programs today are focused on like elementary students and middle school, but they don't really focus on high school too much. So if it's elementary students, like the one I was participating in, it's really to help them transition from elementary to middle school very well and to successfully transition into adulthood. That's what programs generally do. It teaches them about leadership, moral development. It could help them if they want to go into science. It could help them explore that area even more instead of the traditional day school, because I know like for most students it's kind of boring a little bit to just learn science and just learning science by textbook, but that hands-on application and after-school programs kind of help. It kind of sparks interest and inspiration for what you want to do in life.
So a couple of questions. So was College Gardens then mostly homework tutoring? Was it homework support, or what
it was
the
homework
main thing?
support. It was mentoring and anything else that he always, the site director always gave us opportunities to teach students what we to bring activities for the youths. So it was really a place for them to either learn, explore, and engage in activities. I know oftentimes they had people come in and teach them about leadership and
You had guests come in to teach?
yeah, I guess.
Okay, so my second question is, so based on what you learned from this research and your internship at Harvard, so when you're in charge and you're running an after-school program, what age group are you going to target, and what are some unboring, exciting programs that you're going to institute?
My age group would be middle school. I think that's a perfect age to reach students. I know in high school, I noticed that in psychology, by the time students get to a certain age, they begin a little set in their ways a little bit, and that's where a lot of students get involved in crime or like sexual activity and like all sorts of things. And I want to actually circumvent that by intervening by the time they hit like 8th grade. So a program I would offer would, of course, for me after volunteering this semester, I definitely want to offer academic support. That's one thing I saw that was very important because a lot of students were really struggling with that and they needed more help with that. I want to focus more on leadership. I want to focus more on a little bit of the arts as well, and I want to focus more. I would focus more on. I think for now that would be the 3 I would focus on the most.
All arts? I know you have a dance background.
Yes, and dance too. I mean, that would fall under dance. That would fall under the arts as well for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the 3 categories I would actually focus on if I opened up my own after-school program.
When you're.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have time for one more. We have another question.
You mentioned the high dropout rates as they get older. So in your research and experience, do you actually find evidence that participation in these programs actually curbs the at-risk behaviors, in the at-risk youth? Like, is there actual evidence that says that they're successful in doing this?
It's not successful at all times, but it does help a lot. It's like providing something for youth. It depends on how the youth takes it. It depends on how if they come to, not everyone who goes to a program benefits to it. Even if it can be high quality. I know we focus a lot on quality, but you can go, and it depends on like how you view it, how you take it. And so sometimes, youth, it doesn't really curb that. It doesn't really curb it at all, but there are times that it does. So it depends on the youth. Sometimes that's an individual thing as well, which I'm beginning to see myself. Even with the reoccurring qualities that I mentioned earlier, that was just general qualities. But if you break it down into like individual programs itself, that might even change. If that answered your question.
Well, thank you very much. That leaves us just a minute to swap over.